Hey, how's it going, everybody? Shawn Malzahn with the Green Rose Organization. Today we're going to be talking about character development a little more. This is lesson 3 of the character enrichment course, which is part of the Green Rose Organization's self-improvement workshop. Today we're going to be talking about comparing morals, values, and ethics, talking about the differences between them. Last lesson we talked about the differences between character and personality, and in the previous lesson we talked about defining character and why it's important. So if you need to brush up on those things, I encourage you to check out the previous lessons. So let's dive right in today. Today we're going to be talking about, or distinguishing essentially, the subtle differences between the integral components of character: morals, values, and ethics. So here are morals, values, and ethics different. We have morals, essentially moral principles that dictate, and here principle just means some type of rule or law that we live by. So a moral essentially dictates what we might consider right or wrong behavior when we're talking about character. And also influences, or is influenced by, cultural influences and societal influences. They're personal and subjective. So here, subjective, we're talking about something that arises within one's own self or one's own mind. It's a personal experience unique to that individual, which varies across individuals and communities, obviously. So for example, some people might think honesty is moral, or value that more, while others might value the moral principle of simplicity or love. It really depends on upbringing and traditions and cultural influences as we develop over time. They're often expressed through actions and choices over time. So for example, helping somebody or refraining from lying. That's how we express morals. Then we got values. Values are simply deeply held beliefs or ideals about what's important, how we prioritize things in life. They reflect what someone considers important or meaningful. Values are broader and more applied to various aspects of life, like relationships or leisure time activities. So for example, this includes valuing family, education, freedom of creativity, things like that. So values are shaped by individual experiences, culture, and personal preferences. Ideally, we should value, in my opinion, moral principles or the virtues that we talked about, or that sense of what is right and what is wrong, according to the dictates of our higher conscious. That should be something to place value on. Values influence decision making as well and lifestyle choices, such as choosing careers based on your passion, deciding your purpose. Then we have ethics, and there's ethical systems. Ethics are essentially rules or combinations of rules and standards that determine behavior or outline behavior. So like in professional settings or in legal settings in society, they help determine what is fair and what is just and what is comfortable. They make things more structured and objective. And here, objective means not influenced by personal feelings, considering or representing facts, has to do with observation and experimentation. So objectivity is something that aligns more with reality, how things actually are, as opposed to what is subjective or what is relative to one's own mind or personal experience. So here, ethics are often codified in systems like law and professional codes of conduct. Ethics are created by institutions or communities to establish consistency, fairness, and conformity, fostering cooperation. Ethics are enforced in contexts like business practices. So, for example, we have in the banking system, we got the ethical system or standard of avoiding fraud. And then in legal systems, there's professional conduct like representing confidentiality. That's a form of an ethical standard. So here, we kind of talked about the differences between these three things, just briefly: morals, values, and ethics. So let me just kind of simplify it, because I know it kind of got a little confusing in the middle. But morals are personal principles of right and wrong behavior. Values are personal beliefs about what matters most in life. And ethics are societal or professional rules about acceptable behavior. To think about it simply, or even more simply, morals come from your conscious or higher self, sense of right or wrong. Values come from your heart, or what you feel to be right and place value on, what's valuable. And ethics are uh, from societal's expectations, essentially. So from that, I hope we learned something. And again, these terms we're gonna be using throughout the rest of the character enrichment course, as well as the ongoing self-improvement workshop. So we're gonna need to know the definitions of these things. Um, whether it's gonna have a lot to do with everything we talk about, really. Whether it's dealing with emotions or mastering your mind or exploring spirituality. But anyway, if you like this lesson, I encourage you to go to the Green Rose website, greenroseorganization.com. Send me a message on there or leave a comment here or wherever you prefer to on social media and tell me what are your core values? What are some of your moral traits that maybe you need to work on? Tell me what your credo is or essentially your ethical system or standards are. And I want to know. So with that, I appreciate you watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next lesson. Thank you for watching, and let's keep growing. Let's keep improving our minds, our moods, and our manners. With that, God bless. Bye for now.